When you begin doing this work on yourself, going inwards, changing the way that you act in the world, changing the way that you speak to yourself, changing the way you perceive the world, changing the way that you speak to others, when you begin becoming aware and tweaking yourself internally, your frequency is rising. And when your base frequency begins to rise, all that is of a denser, lower vibration that is still within you, beliefs, emotions, and in your life, people, jobs, situations, have no choice but to be revealed to you, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because it's time for them to go. They are no longer a match to your frequency. And so when this begins to happen, it can feel like a tremendous setback in the work that you've been doing. And now this is not necessarily a testing you to see if you can hold the frequency. I put a video on TikTok saying that this was like you testing you to see if you can hold this frequency. And while that's a more digestible way to look at it, I personally don't believe in being tested. It is simply just all that is no longer resonant with your new frequency, which is the work that you have been doing coming up to be seen and released. Okay, so don't be afraid of this part. Don't be afraid of this point in your journey, because it can seem scary. It can seem like you're going backwards. It can seem like you're doing the wrong thing, but you are not. I promise you, you're not. Okay? All of the limiting beliefs that you have been holding on to, if you do not notice that they are inside of your body, they are going to manifest into your physical reality, either as a totaled car, losing your job, not having enough money to pay your rent, whatever it may be. It's going to manifest physically to show you what is no longer serving this higher frequency you're stepping into, which a belief in lack, a belief that you're not capable of making enough money, is a limiting belief. And if you are still holding on to this limiting belief that you are not capable of making enough money, a limiting belief rooted in lack, if you don't notice that it's within you, it's going to have to manifest externally in your physical reality to show you that it is still here and that it is time for you to release. And the only way for you to release a limiting belief of this magnitude is to see the situation in your reality, which could manifest as a totaled car, losing your job, not having enough money to pay your rent or your mortgage. See this in your physical reality. Know that it doesn't determine your worthiness. Know that it does not determine your internal source of abundance, and choose to change your perspective, right? When you used to look at that and go, oh my gosh, how is this happening to me? How will I ever make it? How am I going to move through this? Catch yourself in those stories and choose to change your perspective to say, everything is working out best case scenario. I have no idea how this is going to play out. I have no idea how this is going to work in my favor. All I know is that it's going to work in my favor. All I know is that this is coming up for me to show me where I'm still playing small, to show me where I'm still limiting myself. And now that I have seen this, and now that I have transmuted this from lack to an internal state of abundance by choosing to change my perspective, by choosing not to dip down into the old stories, I'm alchemizing this seemingly negative situation, and I'm alchemizing it into abundance. And so now when this happens, I know that I'm transforming lack that was not happening to me, lack that was already inside of me. And I'm using this external situation to alchemize it into abundance. This is alchemy. This is where miracles occur. This is where you learn how to take the lack that is showing up in your life and turn it and transmute it into abundance. You know the stories of people who come from nothing and build everything for themselves. It is because they do not believe the world around them. They do not believe that that's what they're worthy of, and they know that they have the strength to transform it. They know that they are worthy of more, of better. And so they go inwards and they use that grit and determination to build something, to create something, rather than falling down into the stories, into the victim's mindset. They create from that space. They use that dark space and they create magic out of it. Whether it's by making a YouTube video or creating a piece of art or going back to school, whatever it is to you, you take what seems to be a dark time and you use that time to create something magical, to transform it into abundance, to transform it into power, to not let it keep you down, to not let it write your story for you. You get to choose your story. You have the final say in your life, not your circumstances, not the people around you, but you. And you can choose to believe your circumstances. You can choose to believe, I'm never going to have enough money to pay rent. How in this economy, in this whatever, how could I possibly ever? Okay, something has to change out there. Otherwise, I'm never going to be able to afford groceries. You can choose to continue to think that way. You can choose to believe that. You can choose to continue to place your power outside of yourself and place the determining factor of your life onto somebody that you can't control, onto something that you personally can't control. Or you can choose to take radical responsibility for your life, no matter how painful it may seem to have to look at yourself in that way, to look at your life in that way. You can choose to do this, and then you become the determining factor of your life. You no longer feel as if you're limited because of the state of the economy. You no longer feel as though you're limited because of whoever's president. You no longer feel limited because of the circumstances that are popping up in your life right now. You understand that none of that has anything to do with your inherent worthiness, with your ability to create, and with the level of abundance that you deserve. You deserve the life of your dreams. You deserve everything that is outside of your wildest imaginations, but you must learn how to surrender to that which is not reflecting back to you this knowing. You must choose to surrender to it. You must choose to let it go. When you hold on to it with a tight grip, trying to force it to change, to make you feel good enough, trying to force the external to change, to make you feel abundant, you are trapping yourself. You are trapping yourself because of your firm grip on that which is appearing to be in lack. You can't force the external circumstance to change. You must surrender to the external circumstance. Understand that it means nothing about your inherent worthiness. Understanding that it means nothing about your inherent abundance, and then continue to move forward in that sovereignty, in that power, in your ability to create worlds. You have the ability to create worlds, and yet you're holding on to something that is reflecting back to you that that's not true. Why would you choose to hold on to that? It is you choosing to hold on to the external that is slowing you down. When you just surrender to it, okay, fine. To me, it looks like I'm not going to pay my rent this month, and maybe I won't. But you know what? I'm surrendering to that. I'm not letting it, and this is challenging. I'm not saying this is easy. This can be challenging to do. But I'm going to choose to not let it determine my own sense of abundance. I know that I am inherently abundant from within. I know that my true home is in the kingdom of heaven. I know that that is my true home, and that is where I really am. The only thing keeping me in a perceived separation from the kingdom of heaven are my limiting beliefs, that are veiling my sight from the truth of where I am, from the truth of who I am. And so if we understand that the root of everything we do not like in our external is because of the veil that is in front of our eyes being caused by our limiting beliefs to hide the fact that we are home, we are safe, we are in heaven. And the only thing separating that from you is your beliefs. When you truly understand that, nothing can stop you. It doesn't matter who's president. It doesn't matter the state of the economy. It doesn't matter how much groceries cost. It doesn't matter how late you are paying rent. It doesn't matter when you understand who you are. When you understand where you are. When you understand that you never left. The only reason that you think you left heaven is because you've created all of these limiting beliefs that you thought were going to keep you safe. The small you, the ego version of you that doesn't want to go home, that doesn't want to be in heaven. And you would say, oh my gosh, why would I ever not want to be in heaven? Because you think that you have sinned, because you think that you are bad, and you think that God is mad at you. As your small, limited ego self, you believe that God is going to punish you when you come home. You believe that you are not worthy of being one with God. You believe that you're not worthy of heaven. And so you create all of these distortions to cloud and veil your sight of reality, to give you this distorted reality of lack, this distorted reality of separation. And it is only when you bring awareness to these distortions and choose to see them for the lies that they are, choose to see them as the distortions that they dissolve, they crumble in your presence, because you are the presence of truth. You are the presence of heaven on earth. And so anything that does not align to heaven on earth must crumble, must vanish in your presence. And if it's not vanishing, it's because you still believe in it. If the lack is still there, it's because you still believe that lack is possible. You still believe that lack is real. And that is fine for now. For now, if you need to believe in lack, surrender to it, because it's not the truth of who you are. It's simply something you are choosing to believe for now. And you will move through it, because all that is not truth will crumble, will dissolve once you remember who you are. And it is inevitable. Your return home to God, our collective return home to God, is inevitable. Because it's already the truth of where we are. Okay? And it's in this remembrance that the illusions vanish. And anything that does not align with God is an illusion. If God is unconditional love, joy, peace, sovereignty, abundance, bliss, that means anything that is not those things are illusions. And that means when you remember who you are, all the illusions must crumble. So anything that is not in alignment with abundance, joy, bliss, peace must crumble when you remember who you are. Okay, so this is not a game of forcing the dream to change, whether it's a good dream or a nightmare. It doesn't matter. It's still just a dream. And so this is not a game of trying to force the illusion to change. It's an illusion. Who cares? Who cares what the illusion is showing you? It's not real. It's an illusion. So why does it matter? Okay? So once you wake up to that, it's all an illusion, that's when you learn how to surrender. And when you can learn how to surrender to the illusions, to the distortions of the ego, that is when the ego crumbles and your true self rises. And when your true self rises, your frequency rises. And when your frequency rises to bliss, peace, joy, abundance, oneness, unconditional love, then your external reality will begin to reflect those things back to you, because that is the law. That is a law of the universe. Okay? So do not be afraid when your external reality is reflecting back to you lack. Don't be afraid, because it's an illusion, and you are more powerful than any lack. You are more powerful than any situation that is reflecting back to you lack, because it's not the truth. It's a lie. It's a distortion. It's an illusion. And when you can learn to see through the illusions, they will begin to crumble around you. When you still hold on to the illusions and you try and force the illusions to change because you still believe in them, they're going to continue to hold firm, to hold true, to be reflected back to you because you still believe in them. It's all about what you believe in. It's all about what you believe in and how you respond to life. So when something happens and it's seemingly something that is rooted in lack, your response to that matters. Are you going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening to me? That means you still believe in it, and that means that it will continue to exist in your reality. Or will you be like, man, I mean, that's not ideal, but you know what? I choose to believe that it only gets better from here. I choose to believe that everything's working out best case scenario. I choose to believe that despite what is being reflected back to me in my reality right now, I am more than worthy. I am inherently worthy of abundance. I am inherently worthy of the kingdom of heaven. And I am building a mansion in my heart. I am building a mansion. I am building a kingdom from within, and it's only a matter of time until it's reflected back to me. And I have full faith that despite what's happening to me, what's happening in the physical reality, I have full faith that it is inevitable that this kingdom I'm building in my heart will be reflected back to me in my reality. All I must do is wait. All I must do is have patience. All I must do is continue to have faith. All I must do is trust in God. All I must do is believe in God and believe that I am worthy of the presence of God. Believe that I am worthy of being one with God. It's all a change in perspective. And when your perspective changes, your life changes. But until you change your perspective, nothing's going to change because you still believe. Your perspective is revealing to you your belief system. You are the only one that has the perspective that you have. Just you. You are the only one with your unique perspective of the world, and you are the only one with your unique experiences in the world. Okay? Because there are many people who have been with you during an experience and had a totally different perspective than you, right? It's just you. You're the only one having this perspective. You're the only one having these unique experiences. And so they must be linked. If two people can experience the exact same thing and have two totally different perspectives, that means it's only you here. You're the only one experiencing your world. You can share your world with other people, but that doesn't mean that they're going to immediately begin to experience it or even experience it ever in the way that you have. It's only you. You are the only one experiencing the world and perceiving the world the way that you do. And you have total and complete control over your perspective. You are not locked in a prison of your perspective. Your perspective is moldable, it's malleable. And it's up to you. So how do you choose to see the world? How do you choose to see the things in your reality? Do you choose to have faith, or do you choose to be the victim? Do you choose to know that everything's working out best case scenario, or do you choose to play the victim? Okay, it's up to you. It's only up to you. Okay? I love you.